And our next panel, we are ready with our panelists. It's all about adoption and fostering, which is something that's very close to my heart. Being an adoptive parent, I set out on this journey as a single adoptive parent when I knew nothing about adoption or fostering, for that matter, 12 years ago. And all thanks to having a support network, a great social worker, and understanding of the different terminology. So we're going to touch on that. There's quite a lot we want to get through this afternoon. But first and foremost, I'd like to introduce my wonderful panel. I'm going to get you to do the honors. So Bally, let's start with you. And what is your role in child welfare and fostering?
So my name's Bally Samra. I am the recruitment coordinator for UK Fostering. And I'll just pass you on to Tanisha.
Hello, I'm Tanisha Lewis. I'm the supervising social worker from UK Fostering.
Hi, I'm Manjur Chowdhury. I'm a foster carer with UK Fostering.
Wow, what an amazing panel we have, right? One-stop shop if you've ever thought about fostering or adoption or just would like to find out more information. I think we have a great advert here with a cute kid on stage as well. Hello, who are we looking for? Are we looking for Mummy and Daddy? Yes, where's Mummy and Daddy? No? Not sure where Mum and Dad is, but, oh, okay, I think. I mean, it's a great look for adoption and foster care panel. I'm not going to lie. It's a great advert right there. Sorry, that wasn't deliberate at all. Okay, well, Tanisha, let's first of all start with something, again, personal, because when I started out on this journey, there was a lot of terminology: kinship carer, foster, adoption, a special guardianship order. Yeah. So let's go back to the basics. What is the difference between fostering and adoption?
The difference between fostering and adoption is that with fostering, you can view it as a type of co-parenting, where it's not just the foster carer who's helping to look after the looked after child. There's their social worker, doctors, teachers, independent reviewing officers, all these different professionals that are needed for the child, that we all work together and we share that responsibility. And also the foster carer never has legal responsibility for that child, whereas in adoption, when you take a child on, they become your child legally, as if they were born to you. So I would say that's the main difference. I mean, there's still support, I'm assuming, for adoption, but in fostering, that goes on a lot longer throughout the child's childhood, really.
Okay, so it's a bit of legalities, isn't it, between the two?
Yes,
and
it
when
is.
you say shared responsibility, you're talking about shared parental responsibility that quite often sits with local authority, biological parents as well.
Yeah, the biological parents remain in the child's life as long as that's in their best interest.
So, Bally, in terms of from the recruitment side, what are the, let's say, fundamentals, let's say characteristics? What is it that you look for on how you can determine who would make a suitable foster parent or fostering couple?
So when out recruiting for foster carers, what we're looking for is somebody who's got a caring nature, who understands the fostering journey. And the criteria to actually become a foster carer is that you have a spare bedroom in your home to give to that child. It's all about giving back to the community and making that change for that child to become, better version of themselves. When a child is put into foster care, it's no fault of their own. They're in foster care for a reason, and we're looking for foster carers which are out there who want to make that change. It's about if you're ready to make that change. So the characteristics are that we're looking for someone who's got a spare bedroom, ideally has no criminal convictions, and wants to be part of that child's life and that journey. And also, as a recruitment coordinator, I'm out there trying to raise awareness because so many people out there don't understand what fostering is. They don't understand the different types of fostering. You know, there's respite, there's short-term fostering, there's long-term fostering. You know, we have children from all different ethnicity backgrounds coming into foster care. And as an agency, we try our utmost best to meet the, the criteria for that child. So you're an ethnic background, so they're the same. But it is a struggle. Like the number of referrals that we're getting monthly is it's a lot. And the fact that we don't have foster families registered with the agency, it's really heartbreaking. So as a recruitment coordinator, you'll find me at events, out there networking. You know, if you've got a spare bedroom at home and you feel that you can give back, then please get in touch with us and we can help you throughout the whole process.
So, Bally, you've quashed some of the myths there. But if I was to say perhaps the opposite and say, you mentioned obviously criminal record, there are some things that need to be considerations when you set out on this path. You've talked about the spare bedroom. Let's talk a little bit about the family dynamics then. So imagine I'm in a relationship. I want to desperately foster, but my other half's not so keen on it. Will that work as a scenario?
So when we do an assessment, we do a whole family assessment. And this isn't just for yourself. It'll be a whole family needs to be in agreement with the fostering.
I completely agree. So we would speak with your children if you have any, and we would speak with your partner, and we would explore how everybody feels about that. That is called a 4-month assessment. It can take about between 3 and 4 months, and in some cases it can take longer, especially if your partner is not on board, because we really want to explore and make sure that you have the best support in place when this child comes to live with you. So that's what we do to kind of work through that. And if unfortunately you're both not on board, that's something we would have to look at and see if this is the right time for you to even foster. Do you need more time? Or is this something that you just need more support and more reassurance?
But rest assured, as a single person, you can foster or adopt.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We've got loads of single foster carers. We've got one right here as well, and he does a great job. He's one of my foster carers, and he is one of our strong male carers within the agency. So you could talk about your experience, Manjul.
Manjul, yeah, I'm gonna come to you actually next. How long have you been fostering?
I've been fostering approximately on and off for 13 years, but UK fostering, I've been with them for about 3 years now.
I think what will be interesting to hear from you, Manjul, a lot of conversations that I have with prospective adopters or foster parents is the process. They find it quite daunting. They kind of find it quite intrusive. So somebody who's had first-hand experience of that, and you've done this continuously, there's obviously complexities and challenges which I'll come to afterwards. But what can you tell us about the actual process itself?
The process, I don't think any process you go through, it's daunting. Job application, career move. But once you set out in your mind that you want to do this and it's for the right reasons, the process is just part of achieving the end goal, really. And the team are so helpful. It's like, because they'll hold your hands through the process. There are some questions, that you want answered yourself, and they'll help you to make better judgments. So I don't think the process is daunting. It's just a natural part of it.
And also, so fostering quite often involves working with biological parents, navigating through complex relationships, facilitating contact, if biological parents are involved. How do you, as a foster parent, navigate these kind of relationships?
I think it's mutual respect for the parents of the children. There are some parents who don't have guardians, where they won't have any contacts, but when there is contact, it's facilitating them, making ease for the parents as well, because sometimes they have very limited time to see the children. And, if they have any questions, which they naturally do, is to provide them answers for them and comfort them, to let them know, they're in good hands. And if they've got any, if they've got any ideas or things they would like us to do for the child, and we try to help out in these sort of things. So, yeah.
Tanisha, I'm going to come back to you. What are, would you say, some of the common misconceptions associated with fostering, would you say?
That's a good one. I think
How long we got, Suzi?
I think some people think that, like what we already touched on, they can't do if they're single, if they don't have a partner, but you can. Some feel if they don't own their house that they can't be foster carers, but you can. What we would only ask for is that your landlord is in agreement to have children, looked after children in the home as well. So we just ask that during the assessment process. Some think that if they're from the LGBTQIA plus community, they can't, but you can, because we need a diverse range of foster carers, because we have a diverse range of children coming through care, and representation is very important. So, and the other one is that if they have a job, they can't do fostering. I would say some years back when I first qualified as a social worker, maybe having a job wasn't something that we desired, but now times have changed. If you have a job, I think it's a good way to show a child that you can juggle many things at once. And also, let's be real, finances, if you need to make them extra coins, then, we're not going to say, no, don't do that. But all we ask for is that your commitment to the children is there. If there is a meeting that needs attending, that still needs to happen. And if they have appointments that they need to go to, that needs to happen. And you could always use your, what we call backup carers, to support you in that if you are, say, a single carer. So there's flexibility there. So I would say those are the main ones I can think of.
But I also think, and Bally, you'll probably agree with this, in the South Asian community, there's a lot of stigma associated with it, and it all boils down to marriage, starting and having your own family. And I suppose there's the attachment element as well. Children, how you parent children in foster care versus adoption. How do we, as a society, overcome those hurdles?
I think, so the fostering families that we work with, we are now starting to look at their journey. What does fostering look like to them? Walking into a house of a family who's fostering and sharing their real life stories is how we're getting the word out there about fostering, because some people feel like it'll impact your children, your biological children, but we've actually worked with foster carers who have got children, who have also got foster children living with them, and it's just a family. And they're also teaching their own children that this is a way of giving back. What we're doing is giving back. And obviously my culture, in my Sikhi culture, it's called Seva. And I'm really trying to raise that awareness in all cultures, because there's so many people out there that are just, again, lacking the knowledge of fostering. And, if you're interested in fostering, then, we can guide you the best way to go about it. But just ask us a question. But I think that's one of the biggest ways we can raise awareness, is sharing real life experiences. We've got an Instagram page as well, UK Fostering Midlands. Go on there and meet our carers and have a look at the incredible work that they're doing.
Absolutely. And I think there's not enough recognition for the incredible work that foster carers do. And I just think it's quite heart-wrenching when you think about, the reasons why you're doing it for the welfare of the children, but equally children do move from different placements to different settings, circumstances change. In terms of the process of foster care. Tanisha, can you touch a little bit on what you can express as some of the, we've talked about criteria, but of course, Emmanuel, maybe you can touch on this in terms of you can choose the sort of age group that perhaps you would feel comfortable fostering that will fit in with your lifestyle, your family dynamics. Can you let us in terms of, as a foster parent, some of the decisions that you made?
At the moment, I'm fostering 3 teenage boys. They're 13 years. Sorry, they came in when they were about 15. Previous to that, I had a young lad who left when he was 18. He went into the Army Cadets. He's a professional referee in major leagues. And when that child leaves, I mean, it's quite ironic. About 2 weeks ago, he passed his driving test, and he texted me straight away to let me know that is. And I invited him over to have dinner with us. We baked him a cake with a P on it, and you know the satisfaction of seeing him passing. But he could have gone to his friends. He came back to us, and you know to see his journey, and that's what I think really fostering makes it worthwhile. Because although they are not your children, they become part of your life as well. And it's great to see children coming once they leave, and then they come back to you for guidance in work, university, or when they've achieved something. I mean, that's great satisfaction, you know. And I normally, at this present time, have like between like 13 to like 15-year-olds, and they stay on till they're 18. The reason because is I'd like to keep the house dynamic the same, and like hobbies and interests. So yeah.
And are they all siblings or placed individually?
They are individual children from 3 different ethnic backgrounds. So, but the cohesion is amazing in our house. You know, we have our funny moments, we have our anxious moments, but the great thing is it's a cohesive. There is no like, you know, different backgrounds or anything. It's a home, and that's how we set it out as a home. So there's no indifferences. But to see 3 young lads from 3 different, totally ethnic backgrounds come together and gel, and they're like 3 brothers now. Like, you know, so it's a good buzz.
That is beautiful. I can only imagine having like 3 teenagers in the house, complexities of it, but you seem to be doing an absolutely amazing job. Tanisha, so, you know, on the back of that, what are the goals and expectations for children in foster care compared to those that are being adopted?
I think the goal is to, like what Manjul was saying, provide the child with stability. So that's the main thing, a nurturing, safe haven for them at a time where they've probably gone through a lot of difficulty because, you know, looked after children come into care at a time of crisis in their where their birth family are concerned, and they struggle with that. It's very hard for them. So what we need the foster carers to be is that safe place ultimately. And then what follows is creating that kind of environment, that family environment that they were potentially missing out on. So getting them into extracurricular activities, going to school, seeing to their health, helping them develop their identity and their interests, really promoting them as human beings, because sometimes they come from places where that's not even an option. And I think with adoption, a lot of the time, fostering gets the child to the place where they're able to be adopted, they're safe, they're thriving, they're doing well. So then an adoptive parent is able to meet them at a good time, a better time in their life, whereas foster carers sometimes get the absolute brunt of it. and the difficulties and the challenges. And so I would say that's why they need that support from people like myself, like a supervising social worker, support worker, psychiatrists, schools, police, you name it. And so they need that so that this child, we can ground that child again. So in fostering, it's to help that child achieve the best life they can at that time for as long as it needs they need them. Whereas adoption, they're lucky enough to have a home and a family that they call their own, and they never have to see professionals like me again, really. They're fine because they've got a family, a forever home. You can get that with fostering too, but it just looks a little bit different. But yeah, I would say the goal is just like adoption, just to keep a child safe and stable.
And yeah, like you said, even if you have been fostering long term, there will be that opportunity. If you wanted to turn that into assuming lifelong responsibility and make it permanent, there is a process that can happen as well.
Yeah, the child can stay with. We have different type of fostering. So there's respite, where the child stays with you for about a week, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month maybe, but they go back to either their birth family or they go back to their main carers. Short term, that can be 2 weeks, 2 years, while assessment process is going on with the local authority. But long term, that goes up until the child becomes an adult. So up until the age of 18. And in some cases, it can be extended beyond that to about 21, 25, I've seen in some cases, depending on the child's needs. So that is a long-term commitment. And it just, I think when a child what we call staying put, so when a child stays put, it just offers them another blanket of security, because often what we were finding in fostering is that they get to 18 and they're stressed because they have to leave. They have to leave the fostering home. And for some young people, that's fine. They can't wait. Let me go. But for some, they need that little more. They need a little bit more time to settle and find out what they want to do, who they are. And some carers can do that. There's some carers who can't do it as well. And I mean, that's fine, because they'll still be supported, the child, but it just won't be in fostering. And the local authority tends to take over at that point and offers them all this additional support to keep them grounded. Yeah.
But like Manjul mentioned, there's nothing that's restricting you from keeping in contact with the children as they move on and become independent.
We encourage that. Definitely encourage it. My mum's a foster carer, so we keep in contact with everybody who's come through the family, and I like nothing more than to see them, really, or ask my mum how's such and such doing, and just to find out how their life is going, and invite them to Christmas meals or whatever meal, whatever family celebrations we're having, we invite them. And it's just that way of giving them that message that they're still a part of your family, regardless of them moving on. So we do encourage it. It doesn't have to end when they move out your house. Just like if you have adult children, you want to maintain contact with them. We encourage you to do the same. Yeah.
And Bally, UK Fostering, obviously here today to share information. I'm sure there's other questions that everybody who's in attendance may have. What kind of sort of initiatives or any kind of campaigns that are available in the Midlands area potentially, where people can, it can be overwhelming, can't it? Let's be honest. A lot of information, sort of take away, consult family members, especially if it's very new to you. What do you guys do in terms of driving that information and making sure that it's readily available? Because on television, we don't see many adverts, do we? I don't know why, but we don't see them. So yeah, in terms of, yes, you guys are here, which is fantastic. Where else can we get more information?
So we've got a website, UK Fostering. So you can go on our website. We have got Instagram page. We have our Facebook page as well. We try and make the process as comfortable as possible for you. So, we will have a chat in a coffee shop and do that initial contact where we're discussing the requirements for a foster carer and answer any questions you may have. We try and make the process not too formal to begin with, because obviously, you're sharing information, you're showing your interest. So we want to make sure it's comfortable as possible. So I do a lot of face-to-face assessments. I'm freelance, so I meet you across the Midlands. So mainly it's Facebook, Instagram. We've got telephone numbers. We've got a head office in Dartford in London as well. There's always somebody available to speak to you about it. We've got an amazing team of social workers, youth workers, who are always available. Our carers as well. We've got some recruitment ambassadors who are always on call, who are supporting with the recruitment drive as well. Oh yes. So Tanisha just reminded me, do a coffee morning on a Tuesday at our main office in Kitts Green, between 10 and 2. So if you ever fancied a quick chat, just in general, everyone that's here today, you might not be interested in fostering because you're not ready for whatever reason, but you may know somebody, a neighbour, a friend who actually is currently fostering and has got a bedroom that wants to foster. And I think there's a lot of agencies out there doing amazing work. I can obviously speak for UK Fostering because we've got an amazing team doing great work, and we are outstanding Ofsted. So we are on stand A13. If you are interested or if you know anybody that is, just come and say hi, and we'll be more than happy to give you some more information.
Fantastic, Bally. And I do have one sort of final question. There are obviously many agencies, as you said. There's also your local authority. What are the differences between going through the local authority and where do the agencies fit in? Maybe it's a question for you, Tanisha, just to provide a broader overall picture.
We work with the local authority, which I think not everyone knows this. So we work alongside them. But I think the difference with an independent fostering agency is that we're able to organize our own type of support. The level of support that we put in place is quite different to the local authority because we're not as restricted as the local authority. We're able to... it's and the resources and the finances that we're able to kind of pour into our carers and children, it's not as restricted, and I would say that's the difference. The matching process as well, in my experience, because I have worked for local authority and IFAs before, and in my experience, I would find the matching process takes a little bit more time in independent fostering agencies, and that's a positive thing because we're taking the time to consider your skills and the needs of the child and everything else. So I would say, the main thing though is that we're not as restricted as the local authority. So we're able to do a little bit more. Like we put on events to celebrate our carers all the time. Bally done a wonderful event last year to raise, like a charity event to raise funds, and then we did another Eid event this year as well, and we do Easter and Christmas and summer events all the time. And I've only really found that at UK Fostering, if I'm honest. We're not as restricted, so we're able to kind of write how we want to support our carers in a much different way. So it's all about what you want out of fostering. But come to UK Fostering, we're great.
And if there were a language barrier, is there support available?
Yes.
There is?
Yes,
Okay.
there is.
And there's no age restriction apart from obviously being at adult age?
21. The
21.
minimum age is 21,
21.
but there's no upper limit. Yeah. No.
And we do have carers who ask questions on working full-time. Can I be a foster carer? We do have full-time working foster carers. What we do ask is that you're flexible. So you're flexible. If the child's sick at school, you're able to collect them. We also have backup carers who are available to hand. You're available to attend medical appointments, take them to school and back. So everything that you would do for your own child, you're available to do that for a foster child. So yes, you can work and become a foster carer. You can be single and become a foster carer. There's quite a lot of...
Yeah, there's a lot of support in fostering as well. So we do have 24-hour telephone support as well, and we also have support groups, and we have reps who such as Munjal. Munjal's one of our reps, actually. And we have psychiatrists as well who can come in and do direct work with you. So there's plenty of support there if you ever worried. We also have really good training available. So if it was a matter that you worried that you probably don't know enough, that we will help train you up. So it's just
And
about
that's
what
the
you want.
question we get often, like, what skills do I need to become a foster carer? We provide you with those skills. It's just about having that initial contact and saying, right, I think I'm ready to become a foster carer. And also our team as well. We're a team of different cultural backgrounds. So there's no language barriers whatsoever.
And just finally, and I know you might not be able to answer this one in its entirety, but what are the sort of numbers that we're looking at of children in foster care, Tanisha, versus how many foster parents do we desperately need?
Well, thank you for asking. The fostering network have predicted quite recently that we need at least 7,200 over the next 12 months, and that's nationally. We have a shortage at the moment of foster carers, so we are in desperate need. If we talk about the referrals, or so we say children's information that comes through our system on a monthly basis for all our regions, and we have 4 regions over UK. In July alone, we had over 7,000 come through, but we were only able to place about 1 or 2 children because of the matching process that we have to do, because we need more foster carers. So, nationally, all over UK, we absolutely need people to be foster carers. It is a desperate need because the children are there. They need homes, they need the support, and they need the love. And if you're able to do that, it's a wonderful thing. I'm not saying it's always roses, but it is worth it and very rewarding. So it's just if you have that time and commitment, we would absolutely welcome your interest.
Lovely. And a big heart. That's all it really takes. There's challenges for biological parents. It's no different, is it? Thank you ever so much, all of you. Manjul, thank you for sharing your foster parenting journey with us. Tanisha and Bally, thank you ever so much. And just a reminder once again to follow through. What stand number are you at?
A13.
A13. Thank you. Please give them a round of applause. Thanks so much.
Thank you.